tonight's main event puts the RWL Rage Tag Team titles on the line with Titles-Wylde and Jeff Fortune. Wild Fortune challenging T-Dog Tomasio and Hangman Tex Lynch, masks incorporated for the straps.
And with Tex in the ring, joining us for the call of our main event is Don Hickson. Nice to have you back for this match. Don.
Well, thank you very much, Johnny. Wally, I am certainly looking forward to this main event, this Rage Tag Team title matchup, and here are the #1 contenders, Titles-Wylde and Jeff Fortune, Wild Fortune.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the prestigious Honor Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 432 pounds.
Of course, they have been around for a good 10 or 11 years now, and they are former tag team champions, but it's been a mighty long time since they've actually held gold. They've tried, God knows they've tried. They've had many, many attempts, none of them successful thus far, and it is high time that Wild Fortune either makes an impact or steps back and lets someone else do it.
As often as they've challenged for the Tag Team Championships around RWL, they've always come into those matches as underdogs against the champs, and this one isn't any different, with most in the company seeming to favor the Dogster and the Hangman retaining the titles. So, opinions, gents, are the so-called experts, scouts, and general watchers on right or wrong about the potential outcome here. Well, you all know me. I'm leaning towards Tex and T-Dog leaving Glendale with the belts.
Of course, an upset is always possible, even in a match where it seems unlikely. But Tex and T-Dog just performed so admirably in the tournament that earned them the Rage Tag titles that I'd imagine most fans aren't counting on an upset here either.
And introducing the champions at a combined weight of 509 pounds, they are the prestigious Honor Tag Team Champions.
The one and only Masks Incorporated, T-Dog Tomasio and Hangman Tex Lynch, the Rage Tag Team Champions. And wow, did they impress in the tournament that earned them those titles. They did indeed. And tonight, they're going to have to prove themselves against Wild Fortune, and most people do believe that they are going to be successful.
The Masks, sporting many hats lately, with Tex appointed Snarl GM in February, and T-Dog as his able assistant. And then, you add into the mix their remarkable success ever since, with both the boys doing well in both their single and tag matches. But you can't ignore the fact that Wild Fortune are not only former tag team champions way back some 8 years ago, or the fact that Chris and Jeff have earned themselves a reputation for pulling off some pretty incredible upset wins against teams they would appear to have zero chance against.
What a main event we have here. Two teams slopping over with experience, both with a major point to prove, and the Rage Tag belts hanging in the balance. Well, as far as championship main events are concerned, you really couldn't ask for better beer.
Masks staring daggers at their opponents across the ring, and they sure look determined to retain the titles against some pretty game competition.
Very well, with all the preliminaries now out of the way, we are prepared to begin this Rage Tag Team title match with Jeff Fortune and Hangman Tex Lynch starting us off. Jeff Fortune immediately going to work on the Hangman here with a hard series of shots and a kick that takes the Hangman down to the canvas. And Tex Lynch, the Hangman, living up to his name with a choke lift here. But whoa, look at this, a beautiful arm drag from Jeff Fortune, who drives a knee into the midsection of the Hangman. Gathering him back up again, goes behind, takes him down to the canvas yet again. Now Jeff Fortune just opening up with hard shots to the head of the Hangman. Tex Lynch not mounting much offense here at all, and Jeff into a submission which is called for a break immediately. Too close to the ropes. Jeff Fortune. Gets countered by Tex Lynch with elbows to the midsection. Jeff counters. Tex counters. Now, Jeff Fortune slams Tex Lynch down to the canvas, covers, hooks the leg, and garners a 2 count. Very early on in the match. Again, Wild Fortune. Oh, with a spear. Jeff Fortune with a spear here. Covers again. And again, only a 2 count. Wild Fortune, well known for pulling some major upsets on some major teams like the Road Warriors and Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA. Tex slams. He tagged in Chris Wilde to the mat. Now the Hangman taking elbows to the midsection from Chris Wilde, who misses with the spear. Now the Hangman pitches Chris Wilde to the canvas, and in comes T-Dog Tomasio, the 4-time IBWA World Heavyweight Champion. Chris whips T-Dog to the far corner, turns him around, has him up, and drives T-Dog's head into that top turnbuckle. Tomasio charges, but into a series of hard shots from Chris Wilde. Chris trying for a neck breaker, but T-Dog fast with the counter. Has him up. Nice slam, and in comes the Hangman yet again. Now Tex Lynch, the Snarl general manager, spears Chris Wilde. Covers. 2. And only 2. Tex rounds Chris up yet again. Neck breaker. Now Tex Lynch in control of Chris Wilde. Chris collides with Tex. Runs into a series of hard shots from the Hangman, who has him up. Hangs him off the top rope. Now Tex Lynch making his way out and tagging in his partner T-Dog Tomasio. S Incorporated, known for those frequent tags. T-Dog with an elbow into the chest of Chris Wilde. Now Tomasio making his way up to the top rope, exhorting Chris Wilde to his feet here. Goes air but misses with the double axe handle. Goes behind. Beautiful counter from Chris Wilde here, but T-Dog Tomasio quick with a counter of his own, and Chris in a powerbomb position here, and that's that trademark powerbomb from T-Dog Tomasio as he covers 2, garnering only a 2 count. Now Tomasio countered by Chris Wilde. Tomasio counters Chris. Chris counters Tomasio. We're going to see an awful lot of that in this matchup. These teams both extremely experienced. Jeff Fortune tagged in. Gathers T-Dog up. T-Dog quick with the counter, takes Jeff Fortune down to the mat. Now driving a knee into the head of Chris Wilde as Tomasio steps out and tags in his partner. Tex Lynch spears Jeff Fortune in the center of the ring, nowhere to go. 1, 2. But Chris Wilde with the fast counter spoils the pin. Tomasio escorting him to the outside and following him out. Drives an elbow into Chris Wilde's chest outside on the floor. Meanwhile, on the inside, Jeff Fortune driving a knee into the gut of the Hangman. Now, oh my, look at this. Into a submission hold with T-Dog on the outside. Tex is going to have to find his own way out here, and successfully does so. Now Tex misses with a punch, fails to connect with a second. But Jeff Fortune driving a knee into the head of the Hangman, and now Jeff Fortune ready to execute some, beautiful spear. Covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Whoa, my, that was extremely close. We could have had new tag team champions right there. Now, Chris Wilde making his way back to his corner. I presume T-Dog Tomasio is doing the same. Power slam. Executed by the Hangman. But garnering only a 2 count. Yet again. As Tex steps out and tags in the Dogster. T-Dog Tomasio rounds up Jeff Fortune. But Jeff quick with the counter here. Oh, beautiful slam from Jeff Fortune. And both these teams extremely experienced. Jeff squirts Tomasio to the corner. T-Dog countering with an elbow. Jeff with a beautiful, whoa, my, look at this. Not 1, but 2 bridging suplexes. Very impressive move from Jeff Fortune. Now Jeff taking T-Dog into a submission hold here. Referee monitoring the situation closely. Jeff Fortune. As T-Dog Tomasio escapes the hold. Locks it up. Escorting Jeff Fortune to the ropes to be hung off the top rope. And T-Dog tags in the Hangman, and Jeff tags in Chris Wilde, who comes running in with a punch on the Hangman. Gouger's Lynch up again. Tex quick with the counter. Nice takedown from the Hangman. Driving an elbow into the gut in a second. Tags in T-Dog yet again. The tandem frequent tags. Mass Incorporated. Clothesline. Takes Chris Wilde down to the mat, and another elbow drop from T-Dog Tomasio. Won't see a lot of fancy moves from Mass Incorporated, but they are effective and thorough. Now, a series of hard driving shots from T-Dog Tomasio. Chris Wilde is taken down to the floor on the outside. T-Dog following him out. Stomps the knee into the floor. Now, Tomasio hurls Chris Wilde across the floor. Chris spears T-Dog. Chris gathers him up again, makes his way back inside. T-Dog Tomasio unprepared for what was about to happen, but Chris Wilde misjudging the distance. Tomasio still not responding. Hard right from Chris Wilde. Has him up. Whoa, face first into the floor. Absolutely brutal. Again, the Rage Tag Team Championships on the line in this contest. So you will see both of these teams do anything they have to maintain control of the situation. Now T-Dog with a quick and clever escape here as Chris Wilde makes his way back into the ring. T-Dog Tomasio perhaps a little bit tentative about returning inside as the referee's count continues. Chris breaks the count by stepping outside. Vertical suplex out there on the floor on T-Dog. Now Tomasio counters with an elbow to the side of the head and hurls Jeff Fortune to the barricades. Now T-Dog back inside, followed closely by Chris Wilde. Another elbow. Chris with a counter and a shot to the midsection. Locks it up with Tomasio, escorting him to the corner. Now, he's got T-Dog up there and socks him and knocks him right back down, and now driving a series of hard headbutts into the face of T-Dog Tomasio in the corner of Wild Fortune. Now Chris dragging T-Dog center ring, covering and garnering only a 1 count. Chris Wilde countered by T-Dog Tomasio with a dragon screw. Now T-Dog Tomasio looks primed to strike here as Chris Wilde eager to get tagged in here, but it is too late. T-Dog Tomasio has him in that powerbomb position again. slams Chris Wylde to the canvas, goes for the cover. Just about a 1 before Jeff Fortune spoils the pin. Now T-Dog hurls Jeff out onto the floor as he steps out and tags in Hangman Tex Lynch. Now Tex trying to take control of Chris Wylde, but Chris quick with a knee to the skull. Now Chris Wylde with a soup. Oh man, the slam Tex Lynch face first into the canvas. Chris Wylde. Oh, with a DDT. Covers, hooks the leg, and T-Dog spoiling the pin. And these two tag teams, both keenly determined, respectively Mask Incorporated to retain the titles, and Wild Fortune keen to garner their first tag team title in a long time. Chris Wylde with a spear. Referee counting, and T-Dog Tomasio spoiling the pin yet again. Chris Wylde taking his aggressions out on T-Dog Tomasio as Tex Lynch continues to recover. Snake eyes for T-Dog Tomasio, and whoa my, look at this blatant choke from Chris Wylde. Getting to express a little bit of frustration here. Tex Lynch has him up. Whoa, beautiful slam right there. Tex, a chop to the back of the head of Chris Wylde. Has him up, and a beautiful discus punch that takes Chris Wylde back to the canvas yet again. And finally, Tex Lynch connecting with that running punch of his. 1, 2, and there's Jeff Fortune to spoil the pin yet again. Hangman with a backbreaker on Jeff Fortune. The Hangman very aggressive. Whoa, another spear from Chris Wylde going for the cover, hooking the leg here. 1, 2, and I do not believe it. We have new Rage Tag Team Champions in Wild Fortune.
Here are your winners, and the new prestigious Honor Tag Team Champions.
A storybook ending for Wild Fortune, the new Rage Tag Team Champions, but rather a bittersweet ending for Masks Incorporated in this very intense tag title main event. And as you'd guess, Chris Wylde and Jeff Fortune now enjoying the start of their second tag team title run of their careers.
It's a tough outcome for me, since I'm definitely happy for Wild Fortune, their first tag titles in about 8 years. But I can't help but feel badly for Masks Incorporated. So, Don.
Thanks so much, Don. Hold on a second here. Tex Lynch standing center ring with a microphone. Let's see what's up here.
Hold on a second, folks. I got a little announcement to make here. First of all, I want to congratulate Chris Wylde and Jeff Fortune on this win. They have earned it, and I wish them well as the new Rage Tag Team Champions. But, I've got a little announcement to make. It's been weighing on my conscience a little bit for a while now. I feel that, while I feel bad about me and T-Dog losing the belts, it's also wrong for me as Snarl General Manager to be one half of the Rage Tag Team Champions. It's kind of a conflict of interest. So, as of tonight, I am retiring from the ring, and I am going to continue to serve as T-Dog Tomasio's manager, and we're gonna tag once in a while, but I'm more or less officially retiring to the broadcast booth to be with my good friends, Wally Cardell and Johnny Bianco. Thank you very much. God bless you, and good night.
Oh, wow. Tex is gonna stop competing so he can focus on Snarl and broadcasting with us. Not only is that really good of him, but frankly, I'm very happy to hear our buddy won't be putting his neck on the line in the ring anymore. I kind of don't even really know what to say to that.
But that's all we have time for tonight. Fans, thanks as always for joining us. We're gonna be back with our WL Snarl immediately following this broadcast, so be watching. For all of us at our WL Wrestling, Wally Cardell here. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Good night and be safe, everyone.